This is Basketball More Than a Game with Coaches Goins and Quick. Former high school coach and player have teamed up again to share their knowledge of the game and life skills on and off the court. Brought to you by United States Basketball Association, the leader in youth basketball. USBAHoops.com. Now get ready to chop it up with Coaches Goins and Quick.
Everybody better be dialed in because you know what? It ain't too much longer before the big fella, and I say the big fella in red, is going to be dropping in. So listen, we hope that everybody's had a fantastic day. Coach Quick, what's popping?
Hey, what's going on, Coach G? You want to know what's popping with Coach Q? Well, man, Coach Q is so excited. I know you had a great week this week as you spent time with Coach Elliott of the UVA football team. And you know what? We got a dynamic football guest on our show on tonight. And after this short break, Coach G and I are going to come right back, and we're going to be chopping it up with a very special friend. So make sure those cleats are laced up tight.
You're listening to Coaches G and Q chopping it up.
Well, Coach, you know what time it is, man. Football season is winding down, but yet it is not. When I say winding down, maybe I misspoke, Coach. Maybe it's get ready to crank up, and we're going to separate the little teams from the big teams. But, yeah, it was so great, man, to be able to spend the day and watch Coach Elliott's vision, a part of that come to pass as he's working with his football team in order to have them prepared and ready for the business world. So it was just a great day to go see these young men work toward and things that they're looking for after the game of football. But you know what? Let's talk about who our special guest is today. Coach, you have the mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to some and present to others. Put those hands together. He is a former assistant coach with the football and track program with Union Pines High School. Welcome, Coach Antuion to the GQ Coaches Show.
What's up, fellas? What's up, man? I'm glad to be here on this GQ Coaches Show. I mean, y'all did bring me on after, Kenny Anderson and all them, and so I got tough acts to follow, but that's all good. But I'm just humbled to be here. And I'm ready to chop it up with two of my favorite people on the planet.
Watch, Coach Quick, man. Boy, I tell you what, man. Phil, he don't put us out there. But you know what? Sometimes, Coach Ray, that when we go down through our list and say who's gonna be and who's gonna be on the show, and because then you know what? Here's the thing. Everybody wants to be on the show, but we got to go, all right, what's the timing? And Coach Quick is always, he's in the laboratory every day, moving names. And it's almost like he's on the Soul Train scramble board. Meaning what, right? He's moving this name over. He goes, and he threw your name out. He says, let's wait a little bit until we get into football season. Coach Quick, what's on your mind? And talk about our very special guest.
Man, I tell you what, it's a pleasure to have one of my good friends here on the show today, and Coach Antuion Ray. And he knew that he was coming on at some point in time as we get ready to chop it up about football, basketball, life, whatever you want to talk about, Ray, we here. So let's get ready and have a great show, man.
Without a doubt.
Y'all know I'm ready.
You know that, but you know what? I had to tell the listener audience this. I know one time we posted something, and then Coach Ray said, "Man, y'all need a call-in line." But you know what?
Yes,
you know what? But so guess what we did? We dropped the dime and go put him on the spot for a whole hour. So guess what? So now we do have him on the show. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick it over to Coach Quick to get this thing rocking and rolling.
Yes, sir, Coach Ray. Hey, the 2022 college football playoff is set. The Peach Bowl is featuring the number 1 seeded Georgia Bulldogs and the defending national champions they are versus the number 4 seed, the Ohio State Buckeyes. And in the Fiesta Bowl, we got the Michigan Wolverines, the number 2 seed, versus the number 3 seed, the Texas Christian University Foreign Hogs. So give us your thoughts on this year's college football playoffs, and are you excited about the playoffs expanding?
I am excited about the playoff expanding. First off, it needs to expand. And as far as this year, my take is basically it's Georgia's to lose. Georgia defensively, it is hard to run. It is hard to pass. They are straight lockdown defensively. and their tight end Bowers that boy is all world. I mean, I love I'm an offensive guy. So, I love tight ends. And I was a running backs coach. I love that. And I just think that Georgia just has too much firepower for the rest of them. Ohio State could give them a little challenge if C.J. Stroud is able to get time and get it out to those receivers that he has that are going to be pros one day, especially Marvin Harrison Jr. He's just like his daddy. And and on the other side, you got Michigan and TCU. TCU is going to be feisty, but I got to give the edge to the Wolverines because they are tough and they love to run the football, and I love any team that loves to run the football, and they play just enough good defense to advance to play Georgia. But in the end, the Georgia Bulldogs are going to be a little too powerful for the Michigan Wolverines in the championship.
Hey, Coach Ray, I like it, man. I like what you're bringing to the show already. But I'm going to tell you this. I got Georgia beating Ohio State as well, and I got Michigan marching on beating TCU. I felt like TCU kind of backed in to the college football playoff as USC got pounded. I'll be honest with you. I'd much rather see Alabama in this matchup, to be honest with you, even with their 2 losses. But if Alabama would probably be favored over everyone else in this playoff except for the Georgia Bulldogs. But in that national day, we're both picking Michigan and Georgia to get to the national championship game. I personally think Michigan is going to give Georgia a better matchup than people think if they both march on. Coach G, give me your thoughts.
Well, listen here, man. First of all, Coach Ray, he's speaking just like he's a running back, right? So I want folks to know that's what he did. He carried the pigskin, right? And Coach Ray, I don't know if you know, but Coach Quick has kind of let the cat out of the bag on a couple previous shows that he converted a 2-point conversion when he was the Cardinals Bulldogs. So I got 2 running backs on the show, so I got to deal with that. I'm a defensive guy, so I got to take them dogs, right? Because I used to live right outside of Athens, so I got to run with the dogs. But here's the thing. You guys are exactly right. Bottom line, I don't want no sleeper, right? Because nobody can match up against Georgia. So if it's got to be Michigan, I'd rather see a solid game. I don't want to see a blowout. So I'm thinking that Michigan can give Georgia a better scoop at it. But I just think you guys are exactly right. Georgia is locked down. They're believing in their product. They just put very, very good players on the field. So Coach Ray, I certainly appreciate you taking that down, dropping them names, Marvin Harrison Jr. And I loved it when you say just like his daddy, right? Because the apple don't fall far from the tree. Now, I know kind of tagging back in on that, Coach Quick, if you don't mind me taking that, Coach. Coach Ray, I know you said something about you would like to see the playoffs expanded. Your thoughts on that?
The reason I would like to see it expanded is because the way it is now, everything is predictable. It's too predictable. It's bland. It's boring. I want to see it expand so you can get more teams in there, even though it's going to be more games, and football is a very physical sport. Even with that, I'd love to see more games. And then they have the idea of taking some of these games to the campuses. Can you imagine playoff games on campuses? Man, that's going to be wild, and that's a great idea. And, I mean, it's just gives teams more opportunities, and you have sort of like a mini March Madness in football now because you never know what's going to happen because you got 12 teams in there.
Oh, Lord. Listen, now there he go trying to tap into the March Madness, right? But you know, you're exactly right because here's what I would think, right? So if I'm sitting on the board, I'd be like, okay, let's get rid of some of these gate games. Let's get rid of some of these cupcake games and realize that, you know what, you take Alabama and Florida A&M off your schedule. Stop beating these teams up, 75-6.
Yeah.
And take those weeks and then utilize those weeks into a playoff situation. Coach Quick, what's your thoughts?
Hey, I completely agree, and especially agree with taking some of these cupcakes off the schedule. Man, hey, the basketball programs play the top teams almost every year early in the preseason. So, hey, play some of the big dogs. Let Georgia play Notre Dame early in the year. Let Ohio State play Alabama early in the year. I want to see that. And as far as the playoffs expanding to 12 games, man, it couldn't come soon enough for me. Because let's talk about this for a second. If it was a 12-team playoff this year, how many of those other schools would beat Alabama? And would Alabama be representing the SEC in another national championship game against their counterparts, the Georgia Bulldogs?
I think they would be there. I'm not going to say they're going to win the national championship, but I think they would definitely be in the Final Four if I can use Coach Ray's analogy of creating a March Madness in football.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I would even have to give my guys a better shot in this year if it was a 12-team playoff. I think the Tar Heels have the quarterback to get to that level. I also like Clemson. I feel like if it was a 12-team playoff this year, we'll be talking about Clemson. We'll be talking about USC. We'll be talking about Alabama. We'll be talking about the Tar Heels. We'll be talking about Tennessee as well as these 4 teams that are in the college football playoffs this year. So, it can't get here soon enough for me. I think it's scheduled to expand in 2024. So, hey, lace them up. Let's get ready to rock and roll.
You know what? Without a doubt. So, listen, we want to thank our title sponsor for this segment, Set the Table, which is USBAHoops.com, the leader in youth basketball tournament and camp. So, listen, we're going to step away. The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs, so whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no farther. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away.
You're listening to Basketball More Than Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
All right, so we are back in, and I tell you what, I don't know if that commercial break paid all the bills, but what we were doing while we were off there, folks, you're not going to believe it, but I ain't going to let the cat out of the bag yet, but I am going to talk about it before this show is over. So as we get into this, our game plan is brought to you by Chris Montgomery of Alcova Mortgage. So when you're ready to get in the game, contact Chris at 540-290-0558. Coach Quick, I started to take it, but I ain't going to take it. I'm going to kick it over to you.
Yes, sir. Coach Ray, got to ask you, what are your thoughts on the state of UNC football? All the transfers that are transferring out. And also, the upcoming Holiday Bowl on December 28th, UNC versus Oregon.
Lord, do we have enough time in the show to talk about this?
Hey, it's your time. It's your time.
Talk, Coach.
Well,
Go ahead.
The majority of the kids that are transferring, first of all, the majority of them, with the exception of Storm Duck and Tony Grimes, the majority of them ain't getting no playing time anyway. So that ain't really hurt. But I mean, this transfer portal thing, in my opinion, is getting out of control. And I mean, a lot of these kids is transferring, but some of these kids just don't want to put in the work no more.
Yes, sir.
And that is a problem. When you go and most of these kids have been the best in high school, because I'm a high school coach. I see it all the time. These kids are the best in high school, but when they get to college, they got to realize that everybody on that team was the best in their high school too. So you're going to have to put in a little bit more work.
Uh-oh. Keep talking. Keep talking.
I think some of them just didn't want to put in the work, and then at the same time, the coaching staff at North Carolina, I love Mac Brown. I love that they brought him back. But it's time to cut some dead weight on that coaching staff, especially on that defensive side of the ball.
Ooh.
It's time to cut the dead weight.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I love Mac Brown, and I'm glad he came back, because I'm gonna be the first to admit I was not a Fedora fan. I was not, and so he needs to cut some dead weight. And one, and I mean, I hate to say this because he was one of my favorite players growing up as a Tar Heel fan, but the first person he needs to cut is Dre Bly.
Yes, sir.
Because from what I'm looking at, because I said I was an offensive guy, but I played cornerback too. From what I'm looking at on the field, I don't know what's going on with them cornerbacks, but something is off, and it's been off for even last year under the old regime. And the word around town is that part of the problem with the last defensive coordinator that left was that he wanted to get rid of Dre Bly, because he felt that Dre Bly was a good recruiter, but Dre Bly wasn't coaching them guys up. And I'm looking at the way they're playing on this field, and then I look at how Gene Chizik said he wasn't coming to be the DC unless Charlton Warren came with him. And I know Charlton Warren coached DBs because he coached DBs under Fedora. So I'm looking and I'm like, something ain't right there. So Mac Brown is gonna have to sit down and evaluate that staff and cut the dead weight, because if he does not, then we are headed the USC football program after Drake May leaves after next year, we are headed for a train wreck. It is a train wreck waiting to happen. Mac Brown is gonna have to stand up, and he's gonna have to make some changes on that staff, man.
Wow.
Yeah, from my inside sources are telling me that Dre Bly is possibly out, as well as the defensive line coach. That's what I'm hearing. That's from just sources. But if it comes into play, then we'll know that the sources are telling the truth.
Wow. But I tell you what, I want the listeners to make sure they taking care of Coach Goins tonight, because I feel like I'm in the middle of a North Carolina sandwich, right? I got the basketball guy on one side, I got the football on another. But no, I'm just chopping it up. But you know what? You're exactly right, Coach Ray. Sometimes guys get too comfortable. And I love. I'm gonna kind of jump out west real quick. I love Coach Prime's media. I loved his press conference, but most importantly, I love when he talked to his team. And he told them, said, you got to work. And some of you need to jump in the portal even before I get back. And he said, I'm coming back. They don't have a date yet, but I'm coming back. And that's what you got to realize. And you summed it up, Coach, and I'm not here to rehash what you covered, but and I'm going to say this to the young guys and parents out there. You know what? A lot of times kids read too much of their clippings. They don't realize that they may be a big fish in a little pond in high school, but when they get to major college football, everybody can play. Everybody's fast. And when that coach sits down and he recruits you, if I'm recruiting Coach Quick, if I'm a legendary basketball coach and I like Coach Quick's game, and as soon as he signs that paperwork and I get it processed, Coach Quick, I hate to tell you, but I'm the guy back out trying to find somebody to take your starting spot. And the same thing with Coach Ray. He was a fast running back, but guess what? As soon as I would ink Coach Ray on the football field, my job is to be back on the plane doing what? Trying to find his replacement. And when these young guys don't comprehend that, understand that, that's what's wrong, I think, with collegiate sports, is they think because they signed the deal to get there, they have arrived. I'll toss that up, just like I was in the Dean Dome for either one of you to go after that jump ball on that one.
Well, hey, Coach G, I'll just say this, and I'm going to give Coach Ray a chance to piggyback off of it. You're absolutely correct. The day after North Carolina won the 2009 National Championship, Coach Roy Williams said, I'm going to be on a plane the very next day recruiting somebody somewhere. He said, because I love this feeling. And that feeling of getting better, you have to always be on the grind and going after the next best thing. So, Coach Ray, I'll kick it over to you.
Well, I mean, the thing with recruiting is that your scholarship is year to year.
Come on, tell them.
So,
tell them.
I mean, you're not guaranteed nothing. So you got to keep working. I mean, Drake May, as good as he is, I mean, now I ain't saying this going to happen. This better not happen. But Drake May, as good as he is, if the next man come in, he could knock him off, which I don't see that happening, but I'm just saying it could happen if you stop working.
And that's
you gotta
exactly
keep
right.
working, man. That is the main thing that these young kids don't understand, man. You got, and I mean, some of the fault is on the parents because you fill your kids' head that they're gonna be the next primetime Deion Sanders. They're gonna be the next, Rasheed Wallace, or they're gonna be the next Grant Hill. Then all them jokers put in the work. They put in the time.
That's exactly.
And I mean, I just don't. It irks my nerves when I see a kid with the sense of entitlement, like I did this, now give me mine. What did you do?
Wow.
Did you put in the work? What were you doing in the off season? Was you asleep while everybody else was working early in the morning? Was you when the colleges was out there and your strength and conditioning coach is taking them through drills and giving them workouts? Was you sleep? Did you show up on time?
Wow.
I mean, you got to look at all that stuff, man. And I'm telling you, the tape don't lie. If you've been putting in the work, it's gonna show. And if you ain't putting in the work, it's gonna show. And a lot of these kids, the coaches are getting blamed, but some of these kids ain't putting in the work. They just going off of their athletic ability, and that ain't gonna work.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Coach
Ladies
Quick.
and gentlemen,
Coach
who
Quick.
we have on is Coach Antuion Ray, high school football coach and track coach. And as we close out the game plan segment, it is brought to you by Chris Montgomery of Alcova Mortgage. When it's time to get in the game, call Chris at 540-290-0558, and we'll be right back.
There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today. Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no further. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781 888-8488, and we will clean your worries away.
The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA. You're listening to Basketball More in the Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick. All right, we're back in. This is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick and our very special guest via telephone from the great state of North Carolina. That's Coach Antuion Ray. So you know what, folks? Guess what I found out? This man is, you know what? There ain't but two people I know that are big-time Carolina fans, right? When I say big-time, I'm talking like if you walked in the Dean Dome, they face, one face may be on the one end of the court and the other guys on the other. They pitchers may be even on the backboard, right? So, and then I found out, and then Coach Ray said, guess what, Coach Goins? Well, he says, I'm at Duke University now. I was like, I almost fell out my chair. I almost like had an out of body. Now I said, now you know that's tough. He goes on campus every day, and he be like, you know what, Coach Quick?
Yes, sir.
He like Superman. He wearing his Carolina stuff under his stuff. He looking for phone booth. So if you go on Duke University, you see when you go on Duke University campus, and if you see a phone booth, Coach Antuion Ray had that installed. So in case there's any doubt, he can run in the phone booth, and he steps out and he's the Carolina guy. I'll kick it to you, Coach Quick.
Yes, sir. Coach Ray, I got to ask you about the Holiday Bowl on December 28th, UNC versus Oregon. Give me your thoughts.
It's going to be a high-scoring game because, I mean, quite frankly, neither one of them defenses are any good. And so it's going to be whoever who can outscore who. It looks like and I mean, even though I hate it, it was the right decision. Josh Downs, our star receiver, he turned into the NFL today, and he's going to do a great job. And somebody's going to get a good steal with him. But I got to give the edge to Oregon, only because you're out west. They're going to have the home field advantage. And my Heels right now is we're just a mess. And so I think Drake May is going to play much better than he's been playing, but I don't like this matchup at all. I don't like it.
Hey, I concur. I think it's going to be a decent game in the first half, but I give the edge to Oregon as well. But, hey, I would love to see us come out and just rally behind Drake and say, hey, this is our quarterback. We're going to put him on the map here today. If he don't win the Heisman this year, he's certainly going to be the front runner going into next year. And it starts with this game against Oregon. So I like to see him rally behind Drake and get there. Yes, sir. All right, next question. Let's talk NFL football. I know you're a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh, yes.
Lord. But who are your favorites? Who are your favorites going down the stretch and into the playoffs?
I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna take the Cowboys out of this, and I'm gonna be a fan right now.
Yes, sir.
I think that as far as Super Bowl wise, I felt like that if Jimmy Garoppolo had not gotten hurt, I really felt like San Francisco would be in the Super Bowl because defensively, their defense is the best in the league. It's bar none, hands down. Can't nobody dispute it. And then, I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey in your backfield, along with Deebo Samuel out wide with George Kittle at tight end, and then Brandon Ayuk, and they just got playmakers everywhere. And I just felt like that the 49ers was going to come out of the NFC, and even though Von Miller is going down, I got the Buffalo Bills coming out of the AFC. I love what they got. Stephon Diggs is arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Arguably the best wide receiver in the league. And then they're getting healthy on the back end in their secondary. They just got Tre'Davious White back. I got the Buffalo Bills coming out of the AFC with the Kansas City Chiefs and that bad man Patrick Mahomes not far behind him. In the NFC, I would say the Eagles right now. The Eagles would be my second pick to come out of the NFC. And then my third pick, and it's because of one man, and that's Micah Parsons. My third pick is the Dallas Cowboys. I love Micah Parsons. That if I built a defense from any team in the league, and I owned the team, and I wanted to build a defense, that young man would be the guy I would build my defense around. I mean, I've seen a lot of linebackers, but I have not seen anybody as close to LT as I have seen with Micah Parsons. That boy is an animal, and I mean. But the thing that worries me about the defense with the Dallas Cowboys is our run defense is suspect, and then I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not crazy about Dak Prescott. And then our offensive coordinator, he gets too pass happy, and then we throwing the ball 40 times and only run the ball 15 times, and I'm like, yep, that's an L. So I mean, you just don't never know. That's why I'm not getting too high and I'm not getting too low. I'm not one of them crazy Cowboy fans. It's like, oh, we going to the Super Bowl. Nah, we got issues. It's just, can we overcome those issues? We got issues.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Coach Goins.
Yes,
if
sir.
it's okay with you for just 1 second,
yes,
can
sir.
I touch bases on this?
Yeah, without a doubt. Go ahead.
All right, Coach Ray. You're right. There's going to be an NFC East team represents the NFC in the NFC Championship game, and that team is going to be the Washington Commanders.
Do what?
The Washington Commanders, and we're going to play those San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game because it's been ruled that Jimmy G could possibly return for the playoffs. He does not have to have surgery on his foot. So I'm going with the 49ers and the Commanders in the NFC Championship game. And you are spot on in the AFC. I got the Buffalo Bills coming out of the AFC going to the Super Bowl. Coach G, on a previous show this year, I think I mentioned that Super Bowl, the 49ers and the Bills. But I got the Bills and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Coach Goins, your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like one of our former guests said, Coach Ray and Coach Quick. I'm gonna hang up on both of you. Right? For our great friend Kenny Anderson told Coach Ray when Coach Quick got on them heels, he said, "I'm getting ready to hang up." Right?
Yeah, I was listening.
Right. But here's the thing that was so strategic, Coach Quick. You laid that. You know what? You came down. You gave a silky pass with your left hand over to Coach Ray. He goes up. He does his layup. You know, he says, man, how about them 49ers? Then y'all take the ball out of bounds and you kick it back to him and he comes down. He talks about them Eagles. Then all of a sudden he gets close to the 3-point line. He stops and he going to pull up and shoot that Dallas Cowboys 3, right? It wasn't so strategic how he went 3 deep so he could drop his boys in, but that's okay. Right? That's all right. You're I guess you're entitled to do that. But here's where I want to go, right? The Buffalo Bills, I don't think they're going to get there. I think they may get caught up too much in the prime time, so I'm going to have to go with them Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm not, my boys ain't playing well, and I'm not going to step out on that limb. But I got to ask Coach Ray this. Coach Quick, if you don't mind, can I ask this question to Coach Ray?
Absolutely.
Coach Ray, are you surprised that Coach Quick talked about the Commanders?
Surprised. Coach, he's a loyal man. I ain't ready to go out on no hook and say Dallas gonna be an NFC championship. He went with his team. He ride or die. I can appreciate that.
That's right, man. That's right. That's exactly right. And somebody said, he said, man, the Washington Commanders and them jokers was in the news last night. I'm like, man, I said, what is going? If it ain't happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, it's happening over the Commanders. But no, I mean you guys are exactly right, and y'all know I'm just chopping it up. But I just love how Coach Ray just went. He went 3 deep and slid them boys in there. But you know what? You get the linebacker you're talking about. You're exactly right. The kid's a stud. If you were cranking up an organization, you're spot on. That's why you're on the show. The kid is all of that. He's got a different, and matter of fact, Coach Apple talked about it last week. when you're talking about a motor. A lot of times kid thinks it's about the tires. You can kick the tires, you can check the paint job, but if you pop that hood and you ain't got no motor, you might as well shut it down. So we certainly appreciate, your insight with that. Coach Quick, I'll kick it to you.
Yes, sir. Coach Ray, you feel the Baltimore Ravens should give Lamar Jackson a $300 million contract. And what are your thoughts on his mother representing him?
Man, you dropped one on me there with the mother representing him. I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
But do I feel like he should get that 300? Yes. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you go down the league, go look at these starters. I mean, besides the obvious, Tom Brady and those guys, but go down the league. There ain't that many quarterbacks is better than that man. I mean, come on, man, give that man his money. That is somebody you can build your franchise around. When you have a position like the quarterback position, you want somebody in that position that you can build around. And when you have a person like him that is getting better at throwing the ball, and then he's a game changer with his legs, even though he is kind of injury prone every now and again. But I mean, who ain't? But I would definitely give him that money. And I mean, his mom representing him. I say that, I wouldn't do it personally because she's a little too close to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I would have someone that's, a little bit more experienced, representing me. But I mean, I can't say what works for him that may work for him. But me personally, I would not step on that territory because when you have family members representing you, that's someone that's a little too close to the situation. I mean, knowing what I know about sports agents, if I wanted somebody to represent me, it's gonna be LeBron James' agent. He would be my agent right now. That man will get you the deal you want. That's who I would go with.
Absolutely. Ask Ben Simmons.
Yeah, he will get you the deal you want. I'm telling you, you got to go with that man.
But you know what?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you didn't say you go with Dennis Schroeder's agent.
No.
I mean, but you're exactly right. Sometimes, I love my mama, but I don't need her represent me when it comes with them zeros behind it.
No,
Be like, Mom, I'll talk to you after I ink this deal when I go buy you another house or whatever I need to square mama away. But you're exactly right. And you know what? It's time for us to step away, pay a few bills. But via telephone, our very special guest, a great friend for a lifetime. That's Coach Antuion Ray. This is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick, and we'll be right back.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today. Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away. Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no further. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation.
There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery. The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA. All right, we're back in. This is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick and our very special guest from our hometown. You know what? And I had to, you know what, Coach Quick? There ain't a lot of times, man, people can say, you know, they got guys on the, and two guys I coach, right? And just honor and privilege, one on the, both of them on the offensive side of the ball, you know, doing what they did and all special. And Coach Ray, Coach, well, let me ask you that. How fast were you, man?
But my kids don't believe me, but I did run a 4.340 in high school.
I knew he was smoking. I guess a couple of times he wanted me to line up with him, and I said, "No, I ain't out here to embarrass you, brother. I need for you to go ahead and run and do what he's supposed to do." But you heard that right there. I mean, just absolutely greased lightning, and it was just an honor and privilege to be with these young men back then. But now they're men, they're grown families, and now they're making a difference and chopping it up. Coach Quick, what you got?
Hey, Coach Ray, man, hey, you just mentioned that you ran a 4.340 in high school. Let's go back there for a minute. Let's chop it up about your days as a high school athlete and what that meant for you and your growth as a young man.
I mean, if it wasn't for me going to Union Pines High School with the coaches that were involved in my life. Now, granted, I had my father. I was raised up with my father and mother, and they did an excellent job raising me. But as you know, it takes a village. And so, I mean, man, the lessons that were taught to me by Coach Hicks, Coach Purvis, Coach Goins, Coach Chiz, Coach Bernard Bacon. The late Coach Payton. He was in my life for a little while. And then Coach Joe Robbins. So many other, I'm going to quit naming names, there's so many. Man, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for them putting up with a little knucklehead like me, because I did some crazy things. And I was also in Coach Goins' class. And so every time we was in class, before we even started with whatever the lesson was, he was in there teaching us about life, man. And I still, carry the things that were said from him to this day. I still carry it over into life now. And even with Coach Chiz, and I cannot forget about Coach Carter, because not only did I play for him, but I coached with him. And it was just, if it wasn't for them, man, I don't know how I would have made it through high school, man, because they really looked out for this little old knucklehead and made sure that I did what I had to do. And it took me a while, but I got here. I'm getting ready to add another degree to my name here in a couple months. And I got a wife and 2 kids, and one on the way in February.
Congratulations.
And I appreciate it. So I'm glad about you. I'm glad I went to Union Pines. I'm glad for the coaches I had. Their life lessons meant more to me than anything, than any win or any life. Even though I hated losing, but still, their life lessons meant more to me than anything.
Well,
yes, sir. Coach Goins, you hear what he said, though, right?
Yeah, he slid that in there.
He was a Union Pines grad.
He slid that in there.
Go ahead, Coach. Yeah, I'll kick it over to you.
But you know what? First of all, I'll say this, Coach Ray. I appreciate those words. When you said I was, talking about life when you got, because guess what? Somebody did me the same way. So it's the same thing I tried to do for you, same thing I tried to do for Coach Quick. And then now you look at it and you fast forward it. over 28 years later. Here we are on ESPN Radio, chopping it up, talking about life, talking about sports that has been so instrumental in your life as well as Coach Quick's life. And and when I was over at UVA the other day, I was standing there in the suite and I was looking out across the basketball arena and it was empty and I was just standing there looking. And somebody said, "What's on your mind?" I said, "You realize that game down there has allowed me to travel the world and talk about basketball." And sports has really, really done that for so many people, so many different backgrounds, cultures, religions, and sports. There's so much that we can learn from the sports. We rely on so many people, but I just want to thank you so much for your kind words and mention the coaches that you had in your life. And I know it's tough when you start dropping names, but I just want to thank you on behalf of everybody that you mentioned. And the ones that we might not have mentioned. I know we're all paddling in the same direction, and that's just to make that generation that we impact even better. So thank you. Coach Quick, I'll kick it to you.
Yes, sir. Coach Ray, you coach football and track at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look for in a player and their intangibles?
Well, the number one thing that I look for in a player is, can I trust you?
Yes, sir.
I mean, what are you doing when I'm not around? And I've been coaching. It's one thing, kids are gonna be kids. But I mean, if you're constantly into something, and I constantly can't depend on you to be there, how am I gonna count on you in the game if I can't even count on you to stay in school long enough and do what you got to do in order to come to practice to get to the game? And I mean, and what y'all don't know is that I love football, but my favorite sport is track. And so I've had the opportunity to coach not only with Coach Carter, but I was a track assistant under Coach Jeff Moody at Sand Hills Community College. And so, I didn't really think I was going to stay in coaching that long. And I'm glad I did, because I met some wonderful kids that's going on to do some great things. But, I mean, that's the main thing. Can I trust you? Because if I can't trust you, I ain't going to be able to depend on you to go out here and do what I need you to do for me on Friday nights or when we're out there running the track meets.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Coach Quick, that's real talk. That is real talk right there. And you know what? He was talking, Coach Quick, and guess what I did?
Yes, sir.
I wrote that down.
Absolutely.
Can I trust you? Wow. Coach Ray, man, we appreciate you going there. Coach Quick, what you got?
Yes, sir. Coach Ray, I can't let you go without talking about Tar Heel basketball.
Oh, gosh.
What are your thoughts? And give me your take on this year's version of the Heels.
Like I said about the football team, do we have enough time for this?
Hey, this is real talk. You got to bring it.
But the from what I see, it is too much one-on-one basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And our guards, Caleb Love and R.J. Davis, have not seen a shot that they don't like. And most of the shots that they take are really, really bad.
Yes, sir.
If Carolina basketball is going to get back to where they want to get back to, the offense has to run through Armando Bacot. And he's got to stay healthy. Armando Bacot is going to take us where we want to go, and everybody else needs to fall in line. Now defensively, we got to get ourselves together, because I believe they can play much better defense than what they're showing right now. And I mean, they need to pick it up. And our bench needs to step it up, because we can't play Iron Man basketball. But the main thing is R.J. Davis and Caleb Love got to have better shot selection. And we got to run that offense through big man Armando Bacot. He got to take us there. If he gets on the board and we follow that man, I don't care what nobody say, the Tar Heels will be cutting down the nets in April.
Hey, Coach Ray, I agree with you, but I also have to say this. Armando Bacot, to me, he's checked out early. He's checked out on his teammates. I don't know if he's fat and happy from NIL or what it is, but he's definitely not in basketball shape. And you're right. We got to get the ball inside to him. I think Hubert Davis has to, step it up a little bit on the sideline and man up. And when Caleb Love and RJ is out of control, you got to be willing to put Trimble and Dunn in the game. Even though Dunn is hurt right now with a broken bone in his hand, but he's been pretty solid to me. I just think he needs time. He needs time on the floor. And I would love to see Dontrez Styles play much better, but I think right now he's just a freakish athlete. I would love to see him come along. Jalen Washington is the key. If he's healthy, this team can do some things. So, and I'll kick it back over to you for your thoughts on that.
Well, first and foremost, I can't disagree with you. Armando don't look like himself. I will say that. And I mean, as far as Jalen Washington, I mean, we're gonna have to have somebody that's gonna spell Armando and Pete Nance. Which people are giving Pete Nance a hard time, but that boy he can ball. You got to give him time, man. I mean, it all just ain't gonna come together overnight. But I mean, and I definitely agree with the Hubert Davis. He's gonna have to rein them two guards in, because they're part of the reason why I have headaches about this basketball team. I'm like, 1 minute Caleb Love, he'll make a shot and you be like, man, this boy is amazing. Then you go down another play and you're like, what was that? And he just leaves you shaking your head. And his body language, he has the worst body language. You can tell when things ain't going right, because his body language just tells on him. But I mean, we got problems, but I don't think it's nothing that can't be fixed. It's just everybody's got to be on board. And if to offer the Tar Heel fans any hope, we started out like this last year too, and you see how that ended up. So, I mean, I'm not ready to throw in the towel. I guess the Hubert Davis quote out there, I'm just looking at the little yellow flags right now. My flags ain't on red yet, but yeah, you made some good points. I can't argue with it. I just feel like that. Armando Bacot, he's gonna have to be the man in order for us to get to where they want to go to. He's gonna have to be the man. I agree, Coach G.
Hey, listen, we gonna step away, and as I step away, I don't want nobody to touch the dial. Don't go nowhere. We got two Carolina legends right here. Don't go away. We're gonna pay a few bills, but we'll be right back. The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com, or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs, so whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no further. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best
plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation.
Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away.
You're listening to Basketball More Than Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
And you know who's on the other mic. That ain't none other than the greatest co-host this side of a basketball court, Coach Quick. And I told the folks, don't touch that dial because these dudes are locked and loaded talking about them boys from Chapel Hill, right? And, of course, everybody's taking pot shots. You know, they went they went number one, and they went from number one all the way out of the top 25. But our great friend Coach Apple said it ain't about what status you are right now because guess what? It's only December, right? So you got, you know what? Step back. But I'm going to still want to Coach Ray's deal, Coach Quick. Here's what if I was Hubert Davis and I was in the Dean E. Smith Center and I had them pulled at center court, standing right there in the middle of North Carolina, which is probably about where Why Not North Carolina is. And if nobody knows where that is, you need to Google it and hit us and let me know where that is. But Why Not North Carolina is really a place, but I'm not going to tell you. Here's what I would ask them. I say, can I trust you? Can I trust you to do what you're supposed to do as a Tar Heel? And now, you know, Coach Quick, I'm going to drop this on you. What did our good friend of the show, Mr. Ed Coda, say when you asked him about Love and Davis? Can you remember?
Yes, sir. He said they're pretty solid. He said, but guess what? He said they got to bring it. He said they're in the conversation, but they got to bring it to get to where him and Shammond Williams went.
What do you think, Coach Ray? That was a blast from the past. So what do you think?
I remember. I heard him. He said it. I heard him.
Yes, sir. and he's right. To get to where Coda and Shammond Williams were as a backcourt, they got some growing to do. They got some real growing.
And I'm going to go here, and I'm not trying, and I know you guys know exactly what I mean when I say this, because I've had the fortune to see Carolina playing 2 national championships when I went to the Final Four, and again, I pull for the Heels. I'm a basketball fan, and I'll just long as it's a great game and great, I want to see that. But the problem that I see in Chapel Hill, and it may be a little bit too much too fast. And the reason why they were preseason won because everybody came back, right? You had 4 to 5 starters came back. They tied into the Dean Smith deal. That's a lot. That's a lot to deal with. Mm-hmm. Coming back in, you're on Sports Illustrated. Now I'm sitting in the locker room and I'm hoping somebody calls me for an NIL deal. I'm looking at you and I look at Coach Ray and, man, who's talking to you about an NIL? And then they come Coach Quick and he walking in and he want to take everybody lunch because he done signed the NIL deal. And I think that's where the state of NCAA, they got to be careful with that because now guess what? Everybody's jockeying for money right now. Not just who's going to make it to the league, which is a whole nother. We ain't got enough time to talk about that. But I think that may be coming into play more so than people are talking about. Your thoughts on that, guys?
Oh, I completely agree. And, those guys have an agenda. Caleb and RJ are trying to show the NBA something as a backcourt that they can get there. That's one thing. But then I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna zip my mouth. But two things as far as Carolina on the basketball court. Number one, you have a guy at the 3 position who can't score. He can't shoot the ball if he's not driving. Number 2, there is no Brady Maddox or Dawson Garcia there to open up those driving lanes for Caleb and RJ. So, therefore, take a look at that as far as on the basketball court. Coach Ray, kick it to you.
As far as the NIL money, where they're going wrong is that these kids, man, you're giving them a lot, but they don't. How are they investing this money? You just handing them money and be like, okay, you're getting money for this. Okay, somebody needs to step in and be like, yo, you need to put some of that money back to save some of that money for a rainy day, because this basketball stuff ain't gonna last forever.
That's right.
that's my whole thing. Who is advising these kids with this NIL stuff?
You know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And that's just that was my whole main thing. Like, okay, yeah, you got the money. But who is advising you with this? Who is somebody giving you good, solid advice? That's what I loved about Dean Smith. Every player that ever played for him, as soon as they went to the NBA, Dean Smith was on the phone with the great Michael Jordan and was like, how are you investing your money? What are you doing with your money? And now look at Michael Jordan. He's a billionaire. You gotta have those people in your corner that are setting you up for long-term success and not a short-term thrill. Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Wow.
And see, and that's the thing today with some of these kids, these parents or whomever it may be, some of them are in their ear telling them just how good they are and not what they need to work on.
Wow. You know what? You guys are spot on. Up, down, up street, down street, sideways street, all intersections. And you guys are exactly right. I will share this deal. I did see NIL live and in color. One of the guys that was over at the UVA event had Kihei Clark and another basketball player, and he was a shoe guy. And he basically had them up there and said, how's your feet feel? And one of them said, fine. The other one said, how's your feet? He said, how's your feet feel? He said, good. And I'm like, wow, they're paying them dudes to do that, right? And you just sit there and you shake your head and you move on. Coach Quick, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to you as we start wrapping up.
Yes, sir. Coach Ray, man, I just like to say it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. We appreciate your time, your efforts, and coming on here and dropping so much knowledge about the games that we all love. Because, man, I tell you, man, you have a gift and you have a passion for sports, man, and it doesn't go unnoted. I would definitely love to see you get back in coaching at a full-time level. So, man, hey, whatever it is, give it some thought. Because, man, you're pretty special at this thing called sports, and you're pretty special at life. Thanks for coming on the GQ Coaching Show, man. Thanks for being my friend and being a friend of the show. It's a pleasure.
Coach Ray, your comments.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys inviting me on, little old me, inviting me on. And, I mean, I get that all the time, Coach Quick. Like, are you coming back to coaching? And I'm like, you know what? You never know. But, I mean, right now there's one thing about when you start a family, you got to do whatever is best for your family.
Yes, sir.
And right now I'm in a season, where I feel like I'm doing what's best for my family. But, you never know. I ain't going to say I don't miss it because, I mean, that I do. And, I mean, it's the joy to be around the kids, and I love it. And if you're a coach out there, I just encourage you to, why are you doing it? What is your intentions of what you do? And if you're doing it for the wrong intentions, I mean, I'm blunt about it. You need to get out. If it's not about empowering these kids and setting these kids up for the long term, you need to get out.
Yes, sir.
Because we got people dying out here, man. And these kids need some role models. They need somebody they can look up to. And so I encourage you to search your heart and ask, why are you doing what you do? And if you feel like you're doing it for the wrong reason, you need to step aside and let somebody that's going to invest in them kids step in. And I appreciate y'all having me tonight.
Well, you know what? Listen, man, we certainly appreciate you. We appreciate your body work. And guess what? We're going to have you back on to see how well them predictions roll as it relates to the NFL. So, Coach Quick, I'm going to kick it over to you, and you know where to take us.
Coach Goins, our very special guest. He was an assistant football coach and track coach for Union Pines High School, home of the Vikings. And for myself, Coach Quick, we'll see you in the locker room.
You've been listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Our podcast is available on podbean.com.